What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here. We are getting almost halfway through July now. We're getting a little behind on things, so figure it's time to hop on here and let you know what music we've been enjoying this year so far, our favorite records of the first half of 2026. We're gonna just run down some records that we think you'll like. It's gonna be kind of like a combination of our literal favorite records of the year, as well as some others on the periphery that are maybe just records that aren't getting talked about enough, or records that we think more people need to check out. No particular order, but these are some of the things we've been enjoying so far.
All right. One thing I've enjoyed this year, my favorite bass player currently in the game, Thundercat, came out with an album, Distracted. Got a bunch of guest stars as he is prone to do. The Lemon Twigs stopped by for at least one song, and they have like a co-write on another song. And it's just the weird Thundercat style. There's some yacht rock, some like hip hop, some classic rock, all put together in a blender and just anchored by his unbelievable, just really cool bass playing. And he's got a cool voice too. So always enjoy some good Thundercat.
Well, I'll just get it out of the way right out of the top, right out of the gate. The Lemon Twigs, Look for Your Mind. We did a review on it. We talk about the Lemon Twigs all the time. Love them. And it's not my favorite Lemon Twigs record. I prefer their earlier stuff versus this era that they're kind of in lately. But I think this is the best version of that era that they've done so far. A little more muscular, more guitar driven, more sounding like a live band. And the songs are great.
Yeah, I guess I'll get that out of the way too. Lemon Twigs, Look for Your Mind. I said it was my favorite album of the year. Probably is still, and pretty much a lock for the top five. Just really like the direction they're going in. They seem to jump around from different eras, and this one is more kind of, like you said, muscular, a little more like power pop, early 70s raspberries kind of stuff, but some diversity in the sound as well. And just the way they play, the harmonies, the instrumentals, it's all just incredible. And yeah, Look for Your Mind might be my favorite Lemon Twigs album, so it's definitely on my list here. She's lived 2 or 3 as many lives as me. She's lived 2 or 3 as many lives as me.
Well, if you saw our most anticipated albums video at the beginning of the year in January, I said that I was very excited for the Tyler Ballgame record that was coming out. I said it had a good chance of being my first listen and being number one the whole year long. And basically, I think it probably will do that. I just think the songs are great. And I think it's been a long time since there's been a male vocalist with a voice that commands this kind of attention. I just think he is such a good singer, and the way he delivers these melodies is, I think, just captivating. And it's produced by Jonathan Rado, who is one of my favorite, if not my favorite producer, and it sounds great. Can't wait to meet you for the first time again. Can't wait to meet you for the first time again. What do you want? Do you know?
All right, another one on my list. You had talked about him, you mentioned him, and you compared him to Billy Joel. And yeah, that was correct. The Weight of Early Promise by Cal Everett. It's got some of that like me against the world, Billy Joel, kind of angry young man, piano-based rock. And he definitely kind of sounds like Billy Joel. Some songs, it's just like eye-poppingly, just obvious. And then others kind of dials it back. But just the way he does storytelling in his songs has that Billy Joel flavor to it. And interesting, the album's really long, and some of it's great, and some of it's okay. But Early Promise, yes, indeed, from Cal Everett.
In a pub, one hand and a glove, one proof of the love that bear the label of the bottle. If it comes off in one piece, then love will not cease. And they sigh in relief with teenagers' belief.
All right. Next I will talk about this new record from Alex Amen or Amen. I'm not quite sure. Son of Amen is the record. And yeah, singer-songwriter. It's got a real 70s vibe to it, soft rock kind of thing. A lot of John Denver coming through, especially in the early half of the record. And then as you go through, you get like tastes of other singer-songwriters. There's a song near the back of the record that sounds a lot like Harry Nilsson. Classic record that I would enjoy. It's aimed right at me, both in terms of the writing and the sound of it. Just super warm and inviting.
For my heart has been broken and I just can't seem to ease my pain.
All right, another one on my list. I got a nice country record from Emily Nenni called Moving Shoes, which, it's a country female album from 2026. So it doesn't sound too far out of what that kind of entails. Definitely a little bit of like Casey Musgraves in there, but it's not too contemporary sounding. It's not too, it's not like a Morgan Wallen record or one of the lamer newer country artists. It has that kind of classic country sound to it. Plenty of good pedal steel, really nice instrumentation, just really good clean production, and she's just got a great kind of sweetheart old school country voice. So that is on my list.
How can I keep on playing this game? How can I keep on living in shame?
All right. Next, I'll go with another Jonathan Rado production. Jonathan Rado just killing it this year. He's got like 3 or 4 records that I love already in the first half of this year. This is The Beach by Jean-Luc Eldenwood. Just a phenomenal sounding record. It has some 80s touches. It's a lot synthier in comparison to the other Rado production that I talked about. This and Tyler Ballgame sound very different. They both live in like different sonic spaces. It's really big. It's dramatic. The vocals are kind of over the top. And yeah, I like the writing a lot too. Just a lot of personal experience type of songs, like singing about, for a good example of that is like 2003. He's talking about like what his life was like in 2003 and the simpler time of being young and going to, Blockbuster and stuff like that. But yeah, just powerful writing, great production, really good vocals. If you like kind of 80s stuff, there's like some stuff on it that reminds me a little bit of like Peter Gabriel at times. So
The giant end, it's much too loud. Play it back again. I'm so close.
All right, I got one from Japan. It's a band called Trooper Salute. It's another one that was introduced to me through our Discord server. So always some interesting people in there talking about interesting albums. I got Trooper Salute with Tomodachi ga Amashita, which is it's an interesting mix. Being Japanese and singing Japanese, you kind of get that flavor that you don't get from American bands, even though it's not too far outside of what you would hear. There's some indie pop, some a little bit of math rock in there, some art pop, art rock. some shoegaze. It's loud at times with big guitars. Falls into the Shimokita Kai genre in Japan, which includes artists like Sheena Ringo. It's a female vocalist and a male vocalist. Big guitar, big dynamics, loud and soft. I don't know what they're singing about because I don't speak Japanese, but I really like the sound, really like the style, the emotion that comes through even in a different language. And it's one of those super popular RYM albums, but I think it lives up to that lofty designation over there. So I dig it. If you don't care about knowing what vocalists are singing about, then you should check it out.
All right, next, I want to mention For the Love of Grace and the Hereafter by Ice Age. Ice Age, early on, was a band that I would like check in on and not really care for. They were like being put on end of year lists all the time in their early career, and the records didn't really hit for me. But then the last one surprised me and was like my number 12 of the year that year, or just missed my top 10, I think. So I was looking forward to this one and seeing what kind of direction they would go. And fortunately for me, they kind of stay in that somewhat poppier, more accessible vein that they were in with the last record. I just think it's for the type of music they make, it's kind of post-punky. I mean, a little bit more aggressive type of rock than I normally gravitate towards, but they just do it so well. I think the songs are really engaging and catchy, and as a vocalist, I think he's quite captivating.
Time to take a pill, it's no shield. Gasoline oil spilled on me like a tempest drought. Every inch of my earth and sky.
That's one that I don't know. It's a band that I like more as the critics like less because
Yeah.
I really haven't heard anyone talk about Vanilla Ice Age, but I liked it. I don't know.
Yep.
Let's see who else is on my list. How about Robyn? Sex Essential is her newest album. Extremely Robyn. It's very horny, very just like dancey and sexy and all the stuff that Robyn's known for. And she's an interesting artist that some songs I really love, and then some songs I'm just like, what is she thinking? So she's all over the place as far as her history. I know she's beloved in some circles, but I thought this was one of her best, most consistent records. Very fun, a little bit of that disco flavor that you get in this decade. And I don't know, just a renewed sense of pop songcraft. Everything's very catchy. The lyrics are very, personal and sort of, not for 20-year-olds, which I think is refreshing. She's not trying to be someone she's not. She's just being Robyn, and that works for her and me here.
I think about how you used to make me crack up so hard I didn't keep it together.
When you and my baby, we went through every single position, and we talked about nothing that really mattered. I took care of you when you went designer tripping.
All right, next I want to go local for my next pick. I'm going to go with In Through the Front with Lasers by Tori Silver. Tori works at Hellbender with me. And this record was produced by Jay Som. And I don't know, there's like, the songwriting's great, but if you hear Tori play these songs acoustic, they sound, like a lot of indie pop artists might sound. But the direction that the record takes is sort of surprising when you hear the core songs on their own. Much heavier than you would expect, based on, what Tori's voice is like. She has a bit of a softer voice, but the record has like very heavy guitars, a lot of riffage. The guitars almost have like a gauzy kind of thick quality to them. And I think the juxtaposition of these like sweeter indie pop type of songs with the heavier guitars is working really well on this record. And yeah, it sounds great. Recorded by Jay Som, and yeah, it's a great record. I don't know. I've seen it get a little press, but I don't know that I don't know what kind of reach it's having beyond Pittsburgh, and I think it deserves a listen.
All right, I'll go back to a favorite artist of mine, sort of, not really, but I did have a Brat summer a couple of years ago, so we'll get Charli XCX back on here with Wuthering Heights, her soundtrack album, which it's not Brat, that's for sure. It's much more kind of in this, I don't know, it kind of bounces around art pop and kind of gothic rock and um, progressive pop and all sorts of interesting stuff while also throwing in sort of this electronic, her core element, some auto tune, a lot of big strings on here, very intense arrangements, and it's just an interesting mix of sort of what she's known for and bringing in things to more match, the period piece, Wuthering Heights, sort of that big orchestral, flouncy, kind of flourishy pop and strings. And I think it works. It's a weird combo. It clashes as far as styles go, but I think she pulls it off pretty well, and it's an interesting sounding, cool record.
Right, next I'm going to talk about Julia by Julia Cumming, who was the lead singer of the band Sunflower Bean, a band that I would always check out, but never fully clicked for me. I was never super into Sunflower Bean, and I can't even believe that this record is the same person. She goes in an entirely different direction from that band. It's not a sound we've never heard before. It kind of lives in that sort of Wise Blood, does the Carpenters' 70s lushness kind of thing. But it does have like this sort of anti-authority rebelliousness to the lyrics. Like it's not the type of lyrics that you would get on a Wise Blood record. It's got a little bit of an attitude and a chip on its shoulder lyrically, and I think that that's an interesting way to deliver this sound with that kind of attitude. So yeah, it's a cool record. Really good vocals, great production.
I'm too lonesome or too horny or too feisty or proud. I'm too wanting or too lazy or I'm trying too hard. I'm confessional, made it weird with something I said. I fall in love and then found out it's all in my head, but I don't do this to impress.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that one. That was cool. On my list as well, we'll go another one that's a band that I've talked about and liked in the past, Slift, with their new album Fantasia, which takes the band kind of out of space, which is where they were with Ilian, which I believe made my top 5 in 2024, or close to it, top 10 in 2024. This one is a little more fantastical, if you would believe it from the title. It's similar, stylistically. It's, progressive, some metal elements, great soundscapes, interesting points of view. I think it's great. People seem to not like it as much. Lead vocalist Gene Fossat is kind of doing this like wailing. Like in the last album, he's basically just like screaming like a Viking the whole time and shouting and kind of hoarse. And this one is kind of like up and down. The modulations are a little weird. But to me, this band isn't about vocals. It really is, just doesn't matter. I want the, progressive scope, the sublime instrumental work, the soundscapes, the fantasy, it's not about the vocals. That doesn't bother me. And the music itself is just, immersive and cool and just another great album from them.
All right, next for me, I'm going to talk about American Rough by Andrew Sa. Probably my favorite country record of the year. And, very, very gay. It is like the gayest record of the year. Very like homoerotic lyrics. So probably not for everyone in our viewing audience. But it's just a great sounding record. I like the songs a lot. It reminds me a little of the Honey Harper record that I loved in 2020. In that it is country, but it's not super twangy like honky tonk country. It's got this very lush sound to it. It's very ornate, and yeah, the vocals are just excellent.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by? By and by, there's a better home waiting in the sky.
Okay, we got two left, I believe, to talk about. I'm going to go with the latest from Genesis Owusu, and that is Red Star Woo and the Worldwide Scourge. I always like Genesis Owusu, one of my more favored sort of contemporary, hip hop adjacent artists. And his last album, Struggler, came out in 2023. Thought it was good, but not as good as Smiling with No Teeth from 2021, which I thought was great. Especially The Other Black Dog, I think, was in my top 10 songs of the year. The new album, it's got a little bit of everything. It's still, it's hip hop, but it's just, I don't know, it's so diverse in the sound, bringing in just lots of different elements. It's not abrasive, and it's just, I don't know, he's got a really cool kind of style that I just dig. So I think this is probably his best full whole record yet.
Get up and scream my name. Took me by the tongue, but I'm fluent again. I like the way you cut me, can you do it again? This poison got me feeling like I'm human again. You put up all the walls, I go through it again. Get up, if I could melt myself to you.
All right, I'm going to talk about the record Carousel by Villagerrr. And that's Villagerrr with 3 R's at the end. And yeah, this is, if you're a fan of kind of the indie or folky stuff that's been going on lately, this will definitely be one that you want to check out. When I first heard it, I described it to our Discord as a combination of the Great Grandpa record from last year that I loved and Freako. And Freako also put out a great record this year that's worth listening to. Not going to talk about it in this video, but it's kind of in that world. It's indie, it's folky. There's a little bit of like this sort of early Bright Eyes-ness to it, some emo quality as well. But the songs are great. The arrangements and the performances from the band are excellent. And yeah, it's just a really good record.
I can't look in the
got one from another old school artist from the 90s. She's back again, Tori Amos, in Times of Dragons, which I think is probably her strongest record, maybe since the 90s. Really like just the direction she's going. It's very big. It's very kind of over the top, as Tori is prone to do. But I like it. It's an interesting. It's all about like the takeover of democracy by I don't know people related to Donald Trump and yeah, but not explicitly stated. It's lizard demons and whatever in her storytelling. But I think musically it's great. I love all the piano. It's kind of long and unfurling and just a very interesting, powerful, cool tune. Probably see this in my top 10 at the end of the year. A couple of great tunes on here. In Times of Dragons, Provincetown, that I think holds up to some of her best work.
All right, the last one I want to talk about is the new Cutworms record, Transmitter, a band that we've talked about a lot, at least I have talked about a lot on the channel, especially in end of year videos. I've enjoyed all of their records up till now immensely. But with the last one, it did feel like, even though it was very good, it did feel like it was getting a little predictable and like it started to feel a little bit like the sound of it was like overtaking the songs a little bit. It started to feel a little bit of like a pastiche of a certain 60s sound. And I think on this new record it is just like the perfect balance of like maintaining that great songwriting and melodicism that I loved, but taking the production in just a slightly different direction that works a little bit better. It sounds a little bit more modern to me, not as indebted to specific 60s sounds. It's just a little drier and I think a little richer sounding for it. And yeah, I think it's an excellent record.
Back on a straight line. Lean back on a straight line. I thought for a long time. I thought for a long time. Oh no, how could I come all this way?
Well, I think that's 10 for both of us, I believe. How many albums have you listened to so far this year, Jason?
I am at 181, which
181.
sounds like a lot, but I listened to over 500 last year, and I'm on pace for only like 360. Sort of deliberate. Like I think at the last couple years I was around 500, and I felt a little bit like the records that I loved even weren't getting enough attention. I was listening to like my favorite album of the year twice, you know? So now like I'm deliberately trying to do a little bit more re-listening, especially to the ones I enjoy.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm only at 116, which is pretty far behind my pace. Last year I went 276 or so, and I think that was my highest ever for a single year. And even then, like I felt like I was just sort of spinning my wheels for a lot of it. Although I ended up with like 70 4-star or above albums this year. I don't know. It's been a little harder to find stuff I really like. I'm only at 36 4-star albums or above. So, but still, plenty of good stuff. I don't know. They're trying to be a little more critical. Stop handing out so many 4 stars, but then I go hand out 4 stars to Rolling Stones albums. So
Yeah, I'm at 45 for and up. I think this year felt very slow to get started. I would have said that it was a disappointing year until very recently, the last month or so. A few things have been added to the upper part of my list. I expected with listening to less that I would fall more in love with my favorites. And there's a couple of records that has happened with, but in general, the payoff has not been exactly what I expected it to be. So I think this year is maybe slow to get started. The past month has been very good, and I think September and October, for whatever reasons, are always big release months. So I'm not giving up on 2026 yet. All right, let us know what we missed and what you've been enjoying so far this year. Drop it in the comments, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, and check out the links in the description for our website and our Patreon and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.